Shawnee politician here in the city, right? So think about different tribes that are coming in and out of Williamsburg pretty much constantly. I'm sure you probably heard a little bit about that so far, right?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So all throughout the 18th century, delegates are coming here to Williamsburg to present belts, to listen and sign treaties, dropping their boys off at college here in town, but they're always coming and going, right? You never not see Native people in any of these major cities, right? But myself right now, so I'm kind of in my finer clothes, right? So I'm in my nice fine linen shirt, all decorated up. Got my silver on, got a piece medal, my nice leggings and moccasins, and so I'm looking like somebody who's coming in to talk to the governor, right? So in the 18th century, there are some tribes who are viewed by England as essentially like free people of color within their society, right? There are restrictions on what they can do, where they can go, how much money they can make, where they can live, etc., in exchange for protections under the crown, right? Other tribes, like Shawnees or Cherokees or Wyandots or Six Nations, are considered equals of king and crown because of the business that we have with them, right? And so these people that come here and do business are like secretaries of state, settling up treaties, military alliances, border disputes, trade logistics, licenses, prices, all of those types of things on a national level. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. But on that same sort of line, right, you can ask about our government. You can ask what type of government we have and how that functions, what kind of compromises we have to make with European folks, and whatever you'd like to know.
What kind of government do the Indians have?
Well, the Indians is not really an identifiable group, right? So today in the United States, there are 576 federally recognized tribes. Each one of them has a different government. Each one of them has a different religion. Each one of them has a different language and family structure and traditions, technology. And so here in the 18th century, that's actually interesting because you don't really see that being used too much, right? So the American government has a very clear and definite concept of the Indians because all of their policy is based on that, right? But here, Cherokee have a democracy, right? And they do their things their way. Shawnee folks are a poly-republic, so we have sort of within our country several different townships or like districts basically that operate independently of one another. The Six Nations are a confederacy under a constitutional republic that operate all as one government body. The tribes here on the coast prior to European arrival, like the Powhatan chiefdom, are more like an empire, right? So you've got all different types of government. So
the Powhatans kind of like have a king?
Yes, in a sense, right? They have what's known as a paramount chief, right? Wahun Sinnikock, or Powhatan, he inherited about 6 tribes from his mother who she had conquered, and then he went about the business of conquering all the other smaller tribes in the area to bring them under his control and rule, right? So you pay tribute to me, you give me your resources, etc., or I'll kill all your men and absorb your women and children into my community, right? And he did that until he had almost 40 different tribes under his control here that extended all the way from southern Maryland to the very northern tip of North Carolina and from Richmond east, right? Big old territory under one man, right? When England arrives here at places like Jamestown and starts settling in this area, that's who they're dealing with. And they're actually fairly comfy with it because his government system is very much like their monarchy. But when they start moving a little farther inland, that's when they start to come upon democracies, that's when they start to come upon republics that they're not really sure how to work with. So for my nation, some of the biggest challenges in dealing with European folks is that women run most of our government. So women are the heads of households, they own all property, they are the heads of families, they pass down the bloodlines, and when we come into a place like Williamsburg to do business with the governor, we bring head women with us, right? They're not allowed to speak here in the city. Black folks and people within our community are not allowed to voice when we're here participating with European folks. Children are not allowed to voice or to participate while we're here, right? And so that's some of the challenging things. But on the inverse of that, when Europeans come into our territory, they are also expected to adhere to our rules. So they have to deal with women, they have to deal with black folks and other people who they don't consider equal to themselves. And so that's kind of the dividing line.
What was your tribe again?
I'm a citizen of the Shawnee tribe of Oklahoma.
Were the Cherokees always a democratic people?
No. So at one point in time, way long ago in their history, just like Shawnee folks, you know, Cherokee folks, they say that they had a group of people that sort of was like a theocracy that had power over lots of people, and they requested tribute from these folks and different types of gifts and things like that until to a point that they started abusing that power, and then a group of Cherokee men rose up and slaughtered all of those religious folks, and from that point on they said no one person would have any other say over anybody else again. But that's old story.